Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Ryan Awesome, and welcome to the Ryan Awesome Show. Now, before we get into the show, first off, man, if you haven't done this already, man, what are you waiting for, man? Hit the thumbs up. Hit the thumbs up, and if you're new here, hit that subscribe button. And right next to that subscribe button, there's a bell. Make sure you click on that bell so you're the first ones to know when my next video will come out because I'm here each and every single week. So make sure you hit the thumbs up if you haven't already. Hit the thumbs up. And if you're new here, hit the subscribe button. And then next to that subscribe button, there's a bell. You click on that bell. And when you click on that bell, you'll be the first ones to know when my next video is uploaded. And one last thing. Don't forget to be awesome. So yeah, don't forget to be awesome. And yeah, man, sit back, chillax, grab something to eat, grab something to drink because you're watching the Ryan Awesome Show. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Ryan Awesome Show. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Ryan Awesome, and welcome to the Ryan Awesome Show. Now, today on the Ryan Awesome Show, we'll be talking about AEW Dynamite for June 18th, 2021, Friday Night Dynamite. So, yeah, man, with this show, man, it was not that good. It was not all that good, bro. You know, it felt like most of the matches on this show, man, it just felt like it was just on the show. It felt like they just added it on the show just to add it on the show. And plus, like I really didn't care about most of the matches. Now the only match that I did care about on the show was that MMA cage fight with Hager and Wardlow and all that stuff. And you know what happened at the end of the match. Me, in my opinion, I think that I thought that the MMA cage fight should have main evented the show instead of the elite main event in the show. Like they should have swapped around the starting of the match and the main event. They should have just swapped the 6-man tag team match and the cage fight. Had the cage fight main event and had the 6-man tag open up the show. But yeah, that's what I would have done. The cage fight, it just felt it was the only thing important on the show, man. It really was. It was the best match on the show. And so yeah. So yeah, that was Dynamite. It wasn't all that good. It felt like, like to me, I wasn't feeling it, dude. I wasn't feeling Dynamite tonight. It just wasn't good, man. And so yeah, that's the Dynamite. So yeah, this is AEW Dynamite, the review for June 18th, 2021 on The Ryan Awesome Show. And just like what I said in the intro, man, if you haven't done this already, hit the thumbs up. And right after you do that, hit the subscribe button if you're new. And then hit the bell that's right next to that subscribe button so you'll be notified on when my next videos are out. And so yeah, we start off the show with the MMA cage fight. And so yeah, so we had an octagon. We had an octagon in the middle of the well, we had an octagon in the arena in Daly's place. And so yeah, and with the AEW logo in the middle, so I thought it looked really nice. And so yeah, so the competitors so Wardlow and Hager, they had to choose like one member of their team to join them at ringside. And so Wardlow, he had came out with Shawn Spears, so Wardlow chose Shawn Spears, and Jake Hager chose Chris Jericho. And so yeah, so it was 3 rounds, and so yeah, I didn't know how to call this match. Like I didn't know how to take notes in this match, but yeah, so yeah, so it's an MMA fight. So yeah, 3 rounds. We had a jab to Wardlow's face. So both of these guys, they were trying to get the advantage, and so Hager hit a jab on Wardlow, and so Hager, he went for the body shots, and he started kicking Wardlow in his leg, and so Wardlow, he had slammed Hager, and we had a double leg takedown to Wardlow, but he did not go for the punches. And so yeah, we had a takedown to Hager, and he started punching Hager. Wardlow did, and so Wardlow he had a Superman punch, so he bounced off of the he jumped off of the rope, not off the rope, he jumped off the cage and just hit a Superman punch on Hager. So I thought that was really nice. And so yeah, so Wardlow he started getting his shots in, and so right after that, the first round was over. And so we got into the second round. We had both of these guys that were trading submission holds, and Hager he had locked in an ankle lock on Wardlow, but Wardlow he had fought out of it, and we had a power bomb to Hager and into the cage. And so yeah, this was nice right here. We had Wardlow. He hit a hurricanrana to Jake Hager. So I'd never seen somebody in the MMA hit a hurricanrana. So yeah, I thought it was funny, dude. I thought it was really funny that Wardlow hit a hurricanrana in the middle of an MMA fight. And so yeah, we had Hager. He had locked in his submission move that head and arm triangle choke to Wardlow, but Wardlow had fought out of it. And so yeah, so Hager had gave Wardlow a Uranagi. And so yeah, we had a head and arm triangle choke to Wardlow. So this is the end of the match. And then, while Wardlow he was passing out, yeah, Jericho who was on the outside of the cage. He was, taunting Wardlow and all that stuff. And so Wardlow had gave Jericho the finger. And so yeah, so Wardlow had passed out. So therefore Jake Hager wins the match by referee stoppage. And so yeah, so Jake Hager won the match. And so right after that, you had both guys that got up on their feet. I don't know how Wardlow got up after that, after he just got put to sleep. And so Hager, for some reason, tried to give Wardlow props. I don't know why, but he tried to give Wardlow his props. But Shawn Spears had attacked Jake Hager from behind, and so the Pinnacle ganged up on Hager, and so Jericho had ran in there and attacked Spears and Wardlow, but Wardlow and Spears had ganged up on Jericho, and so yeah, and so MJF had came out. So MJF came out to the ring or to the octagon, and he gave Jericho the salt of the earth, that Fujiwara armbar to Jericho, and Jericho started tapping out. And so yeah, so MJF he was about to beat up Jericho some more, but Dean Malenko, a longtime friend of Chris Jericho, Dean Malenko, legendary Dean Malenko, he stopped MJF from continuing on the attack on Chris Jericho. And so yeah, at one point MJF he was about to punch Dean Malenko in the face, but he thought about it at the first time because Dean Malenko he has health issues, and so yeah, so MJF, like the prick he is, he punched Dean Malenko anyway, and so yeah, he had dropped Dean Malenko on the mat, and so yeah, so Sammy Guevara he had came out and he attacked the Pinnacle. He came out the last minute, so he should have came out a little earlier. But yeah, so Sammy Guevara came out and attacked the Pinnacle, and he chased off the Pinnacle. And so yeah, that was it with that. The match was really good. I thought it was good. The best thing on the show. Presentation wise, it looked really great, man. The octagon, in the middle of the ring. I mean, not in the middle of the ring. The octagon just being there, and it was different. It was different, man. We never seen anything like it in AEW, so I thought it was really good. And so yeah, that was it with that. Should have main evented the show, man. Should have main evented the show. But yeah, that was it with that. And so yeah, so right after that we had Frankie Kazarian, Pentagon, and Eddie Kingston there backstage. They were talking about their trios match that they have against, Matt Jackson and the Good Brothers. And so Frankie, he said that, he's hungry for revenge. And so Kingston, he had told the Young Bucks to pray to the Lord for their souls and all that stuff. And so Pentagon, he said, Cero miedo. And so that was it with that. And so right after that, we went to another backstage segment from Team Taz. So you had Taz, Ricky Starks, and Will Hobbs and Hook. And so yeah, so Taz he was talking to Ricky Starks. He told him that whatever beef you got with Brian Cage, y'all need to squash it. Y'all need to squash this beef right now. And so Taz he talked about Hangman Adam Page, and he talked about the Saturday Night Dynamite that's next week. And so Taz had challenged Hangman Adam Page to a match with Will Hobbs. So yeah, so yeah, he wants Page to be in a match with Will Hobbs on next week's Saturday Night Dynamite against Will Hobbs. And so that was it with that. And so yeah, right after that we had the handicap match. It was Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky versus Darby Allin. And so yeah, with this match we had Darby. He used his speed against Page and Sky, and we had a double springboard coffin drop to Sky and Page. So Darby Allin he took control of the early parts of the match. And so we had Ethan Page. He had a huge shoulder tackle to Darby Allin, and so to slow Darby Allin down. And so yeah, so Page and Scotty took control of the match during a commercial break, picture in picture, of course. And then we came back from commercial break. We had a series of backbreakers to Darby Allin from Page and Sky. And Darby Allin started fighting back. He had a scorpion death drop to Page. And then Darby Allin hit a beautiful code red to Sky. And so at one point we had Darby, he had zip tied Page's legs together. And at that point, how didn't he felt himself being zip tied? I don't know. But yeah, so Darby Allin hit a stunt dog millionaire to Sky, and Darby Allin hit his finishing move, the coffin drop to Scorpio Sky, but Page had pulled Darby out of the ring, and so Page he took the zip tie off of himself. He had got something to cut off the zip tie, and so Page he had threw Darby into that ring post face first, and so yeah, so Sky he had tripped up Darby on the top rope because Darby Allin was going for a top rope move. And so to end the match, we had Ethan Page hit his finishing move, the Ego's Edge, to Darby to win the match. So Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky wins the match. And yeah, that was it. Really didn't care about the match. Don't really care about the feud. You know, Darby Allin looked like an idiot for accepting the match when he didn't even have to make the match. When he didn't even have to compete in the match, he looked like an idiot. And he looked like a loser. He looked like a loser too because, you know, he accepted the match, didn't even have to, and then he told Sting to stay back, you know, because he had something to prove, and he ended up failing. He ended up losing, so he's a loser because he lost. He made a promise and he didn't live up to his promise, so that's why he's the loser, and he's the idiot. But yeah, he don't have nobody to blame but himself though. But yeah, hopefully the feud is over. I don't think it is, but hopefully it is over. But yeah, so yeah, this is the first win that Page and Sky have over Darby Allin. You know, their first, I guess, their first one up on Darby Allin and Sting. But yeah, that was it with that. So yeah, so right after that we had Orange Cassidy with the Best Friends, Trent and Chuck Taylor, and Kris Statlander versus Cezar Bononi with the Wingmen in his corner. So that's Peter Avalon, Ryan Nemeth, and JD Drake. And so yeah, this match right here, this sucked, dude. This match sucked. So yeah, so Bononi he started using his power against Cassidy, and so Bononi had threw Cassidy across the ring while Cassidy had his hands in his pockets, and so we had a big boot to Cassidy, and so yeah, so Cassidy he was outside of the ring, and then the Wingmen they started spraying like spray tanning Cassidy outside the ring, and at that point I was like, ref, what are you doing? Why is this not a disqualification? Or why are you not ejecting him from ringside? But the referee was distracted, and so yeah, so they got involved the entire time, dude. They got involved the entire time in this match, and at that time the referee saw it, and the ref should have ejected them from ringside, but the referee didn't do nothing. And so yeah, so the Best Friends, I don't know why it took them that long to get involved in the match, but the Best Friends they got sick and tired of the Wingman getting involved in the match, so they grabbed Orange Cassidy and just threw him over the top rope onto the Wingman, and so we had a spinning DDT to Bononi. And so all these guys kept getting in the ring. Each member of the Wingman kept getting in the ring, and I was like, "Ref, what are you doing? Get these guys out of the ring!" And so yeah, so Orange Cassidy hit an orange punch on Nemeth, and he hit an orange punch on Drake, and then he hit an orange punch on Bononi to win the match. So Orange Cassidy wins the match, and that was it. This sucked, dude. This was a disaster, an absolute disaster. At first, I don't even know why this match even happened, dude. This match, dude, this was terrible, man. This was terrible. This was not good. You know, the referee had no control of this match. So the referee was powerless in this match. Powerless. But yeah, yeah, really didn't care about it. Really didn't care about it. It sucked, dude. Really sucked. So yeah, that was it with that. So yeah, right after that we had a backstage interview from Alex Marvez. So he interviews Jungle Boy, #1 contender for the AEW Championship. And so yeah, so Jungle Boy, well, I guess Alex Marvez, he tried to interview Jungle Boy, but he got interrupted by Kenny Omega, Don Callis, and Michael Nakazawa in a golf cart. And so yeah, so Omega, he had gotten Jungle Boy's face saying that, Jungle Boy tarnished his image. And so yeah, so Omega, he wanted to fight Jungle Boy. And so yeah, so Omega, he even gave Jungle Boy a free shot. Like, here, I have my hands tied right behind my back. I'm gonna give you a free shot. And so yeah, so Jungle Boy, he was getting ready to punch, hit Omega, get his free shot. But Michael Nakazawa had hit Jungle Boy with a laptop in his back. And so yeah, so Omega attacked Jungle Boy, and then Jungle Boy ended up fighting back. And then Nakazawa, he had pulled Jungle Boy away from Omega. And so Omega, he had ran into the golf cart, got inside the golf cart. And so Nakazawa tried to run into the golf cart. He tried to get in, but Omega had literally kicked him off of the golf cart. So I thought that was funny. I don't know why it was funny, but I thought it was funny. So yeah, kicked him off, and so Jungle Boy started to beat up Michael Nakazawa, and so Omega and Callis had drove off while Jungle Boy beat up Nakazawa. So yeah, that was it with that. I don't know why it was funny, dude, but it was funny, man. It was really funny. I don't know what it was, but yeah, that was it with that. And so yeah, so right after that we had Alex Marvez again. He tried to interview Matt Hardy, or he did interview Matt Hardy with the Hardy family office, private party, Isiah, Cassidy, and Marq Quen, the Blade, and the Bunny. Where's the Butcher? I don't know. Where's the Butcher? But yeah, the Butcher is missing. So yeah, so Hardy, he talked about Christian Cage, saying that if Christian Cage if he keeps coming after me, I'm gonna put him out for good. And so Cage that came out of nowhere, he tried to attack Hardy, but the Hardy family office had locked him into a cage. So Christian Cage is locked in the cage. So so yeah, Cage, he was locked in the cage, and so he offered. So yeah, so he told Hardy to get him out of this cage, like, let me out of this cage. And so Hardy, he said, no, I'm not gonna let you out. And so yeah, so Hardy, he wanted Christian Cage to retire. And so yeah, and so Hardy, he had gave Christian Cage a retirement check, I guess, and to try to bribe him to retire. And he told him again, like, hey, if you keep coming after me, I'm gonna put you out. I'm gonna make you retire. And so yeah, that was it with that. So yeah, we will be getting a match with Hardy and Christian Cage. I don't know when it will be, but yeah, it's gonna happen. So yeah, so right after this we had a tag team match, and it was Cody Rhodes and Brock Anderson with Arn Anderson in their corner rather, versus the Factory. That's Aaron Solo and QT Marshall with Nick Comoroto in their corner. So yeah, so going into this match, dude, I didn't care about this match either, man. Cause I'm tired of the feud with the Nightmare Family and the Factory and all that stuff. It's the same stuff, dude. It really is. It's the same stuff. But yeah, we had a tope suicida to QT from Cody, and we had a hot tag to Brock. He took out QT and Solo, and we had a spine buster to Brock from QT. So QT, he's sticking it in. He's sticking it to Arn Anderson. Because the spine buster is Arn Anderson's move, and so he hit the spine buster on his son. So yeah, so Brock had kicked out of it. And so yeah, the Factory had took control of the match during the commercial break, picture in picture, of course. And so yeah, we had the referee. Well, first off, we had Brock. He had tagged in Cody, but the referee didn't see it, so the referee had ordered Cody Rhodes to get back in his corner. And so we had a DDT to QT from Brock. And so yeah, so Cody Rhodes, he's tagged in now, and he took out the Factory. And then Cody had locked in a figure for a leg lock to Solo, but Solo had grabbed the rope. And then Cody had a Canadian Destroyer to QT. And, all these guys were going back and forth. And then to end the match, we had a jackknife cover to Solo from Brock Anderson to win the match. So Brock Anderson and Cody Rhodes wins the match. And that was it. I really didn't care about the match, but, it was a feel-good moment for Brock, getting his first win, getting a rub from Cody and, his dad and all that stuff. And, him getting his first win on Dynamite in his debut. So yeah, it was a feel-good moment for Brock. But still, though, I really didn't care about the match. But Brock, he did look good. He looked good in this match. But yeah, that was it with that. So yeah, so right after that we had a backstage segment. Well, it looked like they were in a scrapyard or something like that, or a junkyard. It was Lance Archer and the Murder Hawk, Lance Archer and Jake the Snake Roberts. And so they spoke. And so yeah, so Jake he said that Archer ran out of his patience, like he was impatient. He's being impatient right now, and so he can't control Archer. He can't control him. And so yeah, that was it with that. So yeah, what does Lance Archer do now? I don't know. He might have to continue to go through those jobbers because he doesn't deserve a championship match at all. He already had a championship match. You know, he's not gonna go after Miro. He's not gonna go after Kenny Omega. You know, is it for Lance Archer, man? Is it? You know, he had title opportunities and he lost. He lost both title opportunities. And so yeah, that was it with that. So yeah, so right after that we had good old JR Jim Ross. He interviews Andrade El Idolo, the former Andrade Cien Almas. And so yeah, it was a video. So you know, Andrade Cien Almas or Andrade El Idolo, he had to correct JR on on the pronunciation of his name. And so yeah, so Ross he had asked Andrade like, why are you here? Like, why do you chose to go to AEW now? And so Andrade said that he's a superstar and that he deserves a championship. He deserves to go after the TNT Championship and the AEW World Championship. And so yeah, so JR he had mentioned Vicky Guerrero, and so Andrade he had said that Vicky Guerrero is very smart and all that stuff, and he also said that he and Vicky Guerrero have a surprise for everyone. So what that surprise is, I don't know, but yeah, that was it with that. And so yeah, that was it. So yeah, so right after that we had a backstage segment from Alex Marvez. So Alex Marvez again, a busy guy. He interviews Hangman Adam Page with the Dark Order. And so yeah, so Page was with the Dark Order, all 9,000 of them, 9,000 deep. And so yeah, so Marvez he had asked Hangman Page about Taz's offer about him and Will Hobbs next week, and so Page he had said that right now he has beer and he's with his guys right now, so that's all he cares about. He doesn't care about Will Hobbs. And so yeah, so Marvez he had mentioned Kenny Omega and Jungle Boy in the AEW World Championship match, and he wanted to know his thoughts. But Hangman Adam Page he did not answer the question. So this is the second time Marvez asked Page about Omega, and Page just avoided the question or dodged the question. And so yeah, so he dodged the question by hyping up his guys. He hyped up 10, he hyped up John Silver, and he hyped up Evil Uno. And yeah, that was it. That was it with that. And so the match is official. So it's gonna be Hangman Adam Page versus Powerhouse Will Hobbs next week on that Saturday night Dynamite. And so yeah, so that was it with that. So right after that we had Penelope Ford versus Julia Hart with the Varsity Blondes in her corner. So Griff Garrison and Brian Pillman Jr. And so yeah, so we had a crossbody to Ford. We had double knees to Hart. And Ford she had took control of the match during a commercial break, picture in picture, you guessed it. And we had a gut buster to Hart. And then Ford she had missed a moonsault. And yeah. And so it looked like Hart tried to go for like a kick or something like that, but Ford had reversed it. And then to end the match, we had Ford had locked in a Muda lock to Hart to win the match, so Hart had tapped out. So therefore, Penelope Ford wins the match. And so right after the bell had rung, Penelope Ford she still had the hold locked on. And so yeah, so that was it. And so I don't even know why this match happened either, man. Like what? I guess to get Penelope Ford some wins, I guess. But yeah, so right after that, we had Miro had came out to the ring. The TNT champion Miro came out of the ring and he spoke. He thought that the Varsity Blondes was gonna gang up on Penelope Ford and all that stuff, saying that Penelope Ford went through a lot. Her husband is injured, Kip Sabian is injured, and all that stuff, and you guys giving her a hard time. And so Miro he attacked Griff Garrison, and so Brian Pillman Jr. had ended up attacking Miro. He had caught him with a diving shoulder tackle. And so Miro and Pillman Jr. they had a pull apart brawl, so they were beating each other down. And so yeah, so the referee tried to break it up. And then one of the guys that landed on Aubrey Edwards' leg, I think it was Miro. Miro, he had landed on Aubrey Edwards' leg. I don't know if you guys saw it, but I saw it, man. Miro, he had landed on Aubrey Edwards' leg, like when the referees were about to pull away, break away, break these two apart. One of the like Miro had landed on her leg, and so that had to hurt, man. Miro is a big freaking dude, man, and to have him land down on your leg or landing on your leg, man, that had to hurt, man. Yeah, ugh, yeah, that was it with that. You know, it was great. It was a great pull apart, man. Great pull apart. It looked like these guys like literally hated each other and really wanted to beat each other down. But yeah, that was it with that. And so yeah, so right after that we had a backstage segment. So we had Tony Schiavone, Tony Schiavone, Jericho like to call him Tony Schiavone, interviews Dr. Britt Baker DMD with Rebel. And so yeah, so yeah, Tony Schiavone was interviewing Dr. Britt Baker, and then Vicky Guerrero had interrupted the interview, and Vicky, she wanted Britt Baker to put a title on the line against Nyla Rose. Why? I don't know. But Britt Baker said no, and she did the right thing by saying no. And so yeah, basically saying that Nyla Rose don't deserve a championship match. And so yeah, so Vicky Guerrero said that Tony Khan had gave her the right to make a match. I don't know why Tony Khan giving these people the right to make a match. But yeah, so Tony Khan gave Vicky Guerrero the rights to make a match. And so it would be Vicky Guerrero and Nyla Rose versus Dr. Britt Baker and Rebel. So Vicky Guerrero will be in the ring. And I was like, oh my God, no, no. Vicky Guerrero is not a wrestler. She's not a wrestler, dude. She's a manager. Why she's in the ring wrestling? But yeah. So yeah, so Baker and Rebel, they laughed at the thought of Vicky Guerrero being in the ring. And so yeah, that was it with that. It don't make no sense at all, man. It don't make no sense. First off, dude, I don't even know why Nyla Rose is getting a title shot when she's done nothing. Nothing. What? Throw hamburgers at Britt Baker? That's how you get a championship match, by throwing hamburgers at people? No. Don't do that. Man, oh man, oh man. But she did had a win over Layla Hirsch, I guess you could say that. But Nyla Rose should not be going after the women's title, man. It should be going to somebody else. It should be going to somebody else. But yeah, that was it with that. And so yeah, so right after that we had a video of FTR. We had a video of FTR, that's Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler. And we had and Proud and Powerful of the Inner Circle, that's Santana and Ortiz. And so yeah, we had a feud. It was a feud, a video of the feud, of how it happened and all that stuff with Proud and Powerful and FTR. And they each talk about their upbringings and all that stuff, and they were throwing shots at each other, talking smack about each other and all that stuff, saying that we accomplished more than you guys and all that stuff. So they were, going back and forth, listing down their accomplishments and all that stuff. And that was it, man. Really great video, man. Really great video package from this. And yeah, I can't wait, man. I cannot wait to the match, man. Just a regular tag team match with Proud and Powerful versus FTR. Yes, and potentially for the tag team titles, man. Have them feud over the tag team titles, or have them, fight for opportunity for the tag team titles. That would be really good. Either team with the tag team championships, I really don't care which team wins the tag team titles. They both deserve the tag team titles, man. FTR, they've been tag team champions. Like back then, I believe that FTR should have held on to those titles longer, man. When they were tag team champions, they should have held on to those titles longer. And we probably would have had Proud and Powerful take the titles off of FTR, man. But yeah, that was it with that, man. Should be a really great match. Should be a really great tag team title feud, man. Or a great tag team title feud, or a tag team feud in general, man. But yeah, that was it with that. And so yeah, so right after that we had a backstage segment. So we had a lot of backstage segments, man. So yeah, it was Mark Sterling and Jade Cargill. And so yeah, so they were promoting the monetization process of Jade Cargill and her partnerships. And yeah, so Jade, she has said that she's a walking billboard. And so Mark Sterling, he said that Cargill will be on all brands. She will be competing on all brands: AEW Dynamite, AEW Dark, Elevation, AEW Dark, and AEW Rampage, to stack up more wins. And so yeah, that was it with that. And so yeah, before we get into our main event, let's talk about next week's show. So yeah, so on the 30th, so June 30th, that's right after the Saturday show. So that's right after Saturday Night Dynamite. So on the 30th, everything will be back to normal. It will be back on Wednesdays. And so yeah, so on Thursday, June 30th, it will be the AEW Women's Champion, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, and Rebel versus Nyla Rose and Vicky Guerrero in a tag team match. So that's next week. So that's probably gonna be terrible. And we have a TNT Championship match. So it's gonna be Miro, the TNT Champion, versus Brian Pillman Jr. representing the Varsity Blondes, with Griff Garrison and Julia Hart in his corner. And so also we have MJF of the Pinnacle versus Sammy Guevara of the Inner Circle. And so that's next week too. And also on Saturday, I mean not next week, in 2 weeks rather. Yeah, in 2 weeks. So on Saturday, on the 26th, on June 26th, is gonna be for the AEW World Championship. Is gonna be Kenny by God Omega, who is the Impact World Champion, the Triple A Mega Heavyweight Champion, and the AEW World Heavyweight Champion, with Don Callis, the Invisible Hand, in his corner versus Jungle Boy for the AEW World Championship. And also we have Hangman Adam Page versus Powerhouse Will Hobbs with Taz in his corner, and that's on Saturday, next Saturday. And so yeah, so those are all the matches that are announced for the June the 30th, for the Saturday Night Dynamite. So that's on the 26th, and on the Wednesday Night Dynamite on June 30th. And so yeah, that was it with that. So yeah, right after that we had the main event, which should have been the warm up match, not the warm up match, but the start off the show, the starter show, or the starter match of the show. But yeah, so it was Pentagon with Alex Abrahantes in his corner, Frankie Kazarian and Eddie Kingston versus Matt Jackson, who is one half of the AEW World Tag Team Champions, and the Good Brothers, Doc Gallows and Carl Anderson, with Don Callis in their corner, who is on commentary. And so Kazarian, he had went right after Anderson. As soon as the bell rung, he went right after Anderson. And so Pentagon, he had took out Matt and Anderson with sling blades. We had a diving shoulder tackle to Gallows from Kingston. And so everybody was fighting outside the ring, and at that point, could not keep up. Match was all over the place, dude. And so the Elite took control of the match during the commercial break. Picture in picture, you guessed it, right? And we had an overhead belly-to-belly suplex to Matt from Kingston. We had a high tag to Kazarian. He took out the Elite. And we had a springboard leg drop to Anderson from Kazarian. He kicked out. And then Kazarian had locked in the crossface chicken wing to one of these guys. So that shades of Bob Backlund. And so we had a spine buster to Kazarian from Anderson. And we had a tag to Pentagon, and he took out Matt. And we had a tope con hero to the Good Brothers from Pentagon. And we had the Fear Factor. So we had that package power driver to Matt from Pentagon. And so yeah, we had a series of moves to Matt from Penta, Kingston, and Kazarian. So they would triple team Matt. And so we had an Angel's Wings. We had the Angel's Wings to Matt from Kazarian. So Kazarian paying homage to his friend, Christopher Daniels. And so yeah, so Gallows broke up the pin. And so we had a diving elbow drop to Pentagon from Matt Jackson. So that was a Shawn Michaels-like elbow drop. And so he kicked out. And so yeah, so everybody were hitting each other with their signature moves and all that stuff. And so Pentagon, he tried to go for a top rope move, but Nick Jackson out of nowhere, who wasn't in the match, who came from the crowd, they said, he came out of nowhere and he sprayed Pentagon with the cold spray, that spray that they carried to the ring, that Brandon Cutler carried to the ring. And so yeah, to end the match, we had Carl Anderson. He had the diving neckbreaker to Pentagon to win the match. So Matt Jackson and the Good Brothers win the match, and that was it, man. That was it with the match. I thought something was gonna happen at the end of the show, but nothing happened. Which is why I would have put the cage fight in the end of the show and put this at the start of the show. But yeah, that was it. The match felt like a rematch, dude. Felt like a rematch because is the Good Brothers, Young Bucks, Kingston, yeah, Moxley, you know, That triangle is rematch after rematch after rematch with this. But yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do next, but yeah, it's starting to get repetitive, man. It really is. But yeah, that was it with that. That was it with the show. You know, the show wasn't that good. It wasn't that good, dude. You know, the only thing that was good about this show was that cage fight. It was the only thing that was good on this show was this cage fight. But yeah, which I would have put in the main event. The cage fight should have been in the main event based off of what happened at the end of the cage fight. But yeah, and all these other matches, dude, I really didn't care about. I really didn't care about. So this is a week episode of Dynamite. So yeah, that was it with that, man. That was it. And yeah, man. And that was it. That was it with the review for Dynamite, AEW Dynamite for June 18th, 2021 on The Ryan Awesome Show. And I am glad that we're gonna be back to normal, man, on the 30th, man. So we have one more Dynamite that's gonna be on a Saturday, and then right after that we are back to normal on Wednesdays because man, the Dynamite on Fridays, man, it is wearing me out, dude. It wear me out. It wore me out. One time I was recording this video at 3 o'clock in the morning. At 3 o'clock in the morning I was recording this video. So the Dynamite on Friday, man, it was man, it is tiresome, man. It is absolutely tiresome. But I'm glad they are moving back to normal, man. I'm glad they are moving back to normal. And yeah, man. Yeah, man. If you like this video, man, what are you waiting for, man? Hit the thumbs up, man. Hit the thumbs up. And if you're new here, hit that subscribe button. And then right next to that subscribe button is a bell. Make sure you click on that bell so you'll be the first ones to know when my next video is uploaded because I'm here each and every single week, man. Follow me on Twitter at Ryan Awesome Show. And yeah, man. Comment down below. Tell me how you felt about this episode of AEW Dynamite. Share this video with each and every single person that you come across on a day-to-day basis, man. And I'll see you guys on Sunday. I'll see you guys on Sunday, man. Dude, I almost forgot that Hell in a Cell was this Sunday. Almost forgot it was this Sunday, but Hell in a Cell is this Sunday. So I'll see you guys on Sunday for Hell in a Cell. And yeah, man. And once again, guys, thank you for the support. Thank you for the love and support for my show, man. Thank you, awesome ones. And yeah, man. And this has been the Ryan Awesome Show. Oh yeah, and one more thing. If you guys missed the last week's episode of AEW Dynamite, or the last week's review on AEW Dynamite, the video is going to be right up here in this corner. And the link to that video will be down below in the description. So make sure you either click this video right here or click down below, the link down below in the description. And yeah, man. And yeah. And this has been the Ryan Awesome Show. Take care, stay safe, and that's that.